I'll never forget this. Before we ran out before the game to do our warm-ups, I was scared. I didn't want to run out because I knew I had the limp. And I started noticing that more, and I was afraid to run out there on the court and have everyone watch that. I almost didn't do it. Not gonna
Just
lie, I
from
almost
fear.
talked there. I almost let fear stop me, and it's crazy to think how my life would be different if I did let that stop me.
Mm. All right, guys, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I'm really excited to have a guy on the podcast today I got a chance to meet, and we've been kind of looking to feature him and his story a little bit because he's got a great story, not just inspirational, but in a business standpoint. So, Nathan Winston, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I think that a lot of people are dealing with obstacles and setbacks and things like that in their personal life and business right now. So I think your story is going to be great. But let me give everybody a little bit of a background on you and why you're on the show, because we have hundreds of people trying to get on the show, and we kind of sorted through to really find some time with you. So guys, if you're listening, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We've got some really good stuff coming out. I want you to go check out dailymastermind.com. You'll see all that free resources that we have for you. But Nathan is a former professional baseball player, high school baseball coach, corrections officer, motivational speaker, founder of Next Level Mindset. And he's got a new memoir coming out. Kind of really excited about that. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that. He has had a story that's really had him help individuals to overcome setbacks and obstacles. And without kind of giving away a lot of that, I would like, Nathan, I'd love for you to just give us the background of where you came from and what you've had to overcome.
All right. Well, again, my name's Nathan Winston. I'm from Southern Ohio, born and raised. Born in Cincinnati, raised in a place called Chillicothe. I was born with a rare birth defect, PFFD, which stands for proximal femoral focal deficiency. So, in my particular case, my femur and the ball and socket didn't form. And so my left leg wasn't growing at the same speed as my right leg. And so at the age of 4, they decided to amputate my leg. And so for me, not having the femur or the ball and socket, I have a bad limp to my left because I don't have what they call a gait to stop me. But I went from that, still able to play basketball, baseball, and football. And like you said, baseball professionally. And so that helped me come up with the next level mindset that we talked about. Just instead of finding reasons to quit, finding reasons to keep moving forward and getting comfortable being uncomfortable until it gets comfortable.
Yeah, I love this. And I want to kind of back up a minute because I think a lot of people are dealing with obstacles and situations, but you were 4 years old and had your leg amputated. I mean, I got to get a feel for what sort of helped you to develop your mindset. So early on, was this, your parents, like what gave you the motivation or even that belief that you could continue? Because the last thing you would normally think if somebody gets their leg amputated is they're going to go into sports, but
Right.
you went right down that path. And so what helped you to develop that mindset early on in your life?
As a kid, my mom told me I was always active. So even when before the surgery, she said that I never had trouble moving around. I just started like bear crawling around the house because obviously the older I got, my leg was shorter. And she said I always just adapted. I never complained. I always found reasons to keep going. And like I said, I had the surgery when I was 4. We were told I would never be able to play sports, but at the age of 5, I was playing basketball. And then I ended up playing baseball and then football. And so just having that next level mindset to not quit, I feel like it came at a young age, just me finding ways to get around the house myself. Like I said, my mom said I would just find
Yeah.
ways to get around. She was worried at first, but she said I would just take off.
Isn't it crazy how when you don't know all these negative thoughts, you actually don't think about it? Like you're growing up, you're young. A lot of times right now, we've had so many failures in our lives as you get older that you've got all these obstacles and you didn't have that. You obviously had encouraging parents, but were there some points when you were young where you were like, because you do have a next level mindset now, but there had to be points when you were like, look, man, I don't know. I don't know if I can compete like the other kids. I don't know if I can do this.
Oh yeah. When I was a kid, when I first started playing basketball, we had these sock liners. So it's just a cotton sock. And one issue I dealt with a lot was I sweat a lot. I would try antiperspirants to put in it, but nothing worked. So I would play basketball or I'd be playing with friends and it would just come off easily. I'd be playing basketball games as a kid where I had to would run down the court, but I'd have to hold my leg and literally hold it on while I'm running down the court. Or at halftime, I'd go to the bathroom and have to take my leg off, dump the sweat out of it. Get a paper towel,
Wow.
wipe it out, change the sock out, or just like try to squeeze all the, because there'd be times like all my socks were just a mess because I was always active, so I'd have to squeeze it. And so that was a mess. I had to deal with that. It was constantly sweating. I was always having to come out, dry it off, whatever. And then they went to the pin and lock socket, which is so there's a hole in your leg, the pin goes in, and that's what keeps it in. Thought it would be better, but again, from all the sweat, same thing. Sweat would just build into it, or it would get rusted. So my leg
Wow.
would either sometimes not go all the way in, or like I couldn't get it off from all the sweat in it. I'd literally, my sister would have to come in my room when we were kids, and she would have to like pull it while I was trying to push it off because of all the sweat that got into it. So I mean,
It's like
it
you
was
don't have
yeah,
enough issues trying to figure out how to compete. You're also trying to
yeah,
figure out how to even stay up to par. Did you have
right.
injuries and things you had to deal with as well along the way?
Oh yeah, so especially getting older, especially when I got into playing basketball and football. I didn't play football until eighth grade because I was always told I couldn't play from everyone. The fear was that if I got hit in a socket, I wouldn't be able to wear a prosthetic because it could break my stump. Like
Mhm.
the rod that's in it could break and I wouldn't be able to wear a prosthetic. So I actually had to lie and sneak to play football for the first time. I played my eighth grade and freshman year, but I had to stop because I was doing basketball, baseball, and football. There was days I couldn't even get out of bed. Like my right leg would feel so heavy sometimes I couldn't lift it because I was putting so much pressure on it. So I had to make a choice. I was happy I was able to play football, but I had to make a choice. I could feel it affecting my body, so I had to stop playing
Wow.
football.
Yeah,
And I
well,
was supposed to be
you've
able to
played
play.
basically every
Yeah,
sport, so it's
yeah.
like you were definitely driven for sure. Let's talk a little bit about next level mindset. You talk about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable until you get comfortable. So talk to me
Yeah.
about that.
So with that being said, people let comfortability just have them settle where they're at instead of pushing themselves, or like people let the fear of failure prevent them from being what they could reach in life. And so I
Yeah,
get that mindset. I made the seventh grade basketball team, and so our gym was set up. The middle, like half court line, was where the door was to come out the locker room. And so for our warm ups, we would run a circle around the gym into the layup line or whatever. So like at practices, I was comfortable. I was with my friends or whatever. We were playing basketball, but like middle school, the first game, I remember I was nervous because obviously you start noticing girls. There's girls in the stands watching.
yeah,
Parents are right there watching. And I'll never forget this. Before we ran out before the game to do our warm ups, I was scared. I didn't want to run out because I knew I had the limp. I started noticing that more, and I was afraid to run out there on the court and have everyone watch that. I almost didn't do it. Not gonna
just
lie, I
from
almost
fear.
taught yeah. I almost let fear stop me, and it's crazy to think how my life would be different if I did let that stop me.
Mm.
But I forced myself. I was just in my head, like, you got this, just go out there and do it. Just do it. And so I remember I was watching the kids run out. My team ran out in front of me one by one, and it was my turn, and I just forced myself. I just ran out and did it. And like away games, every game, I just kept forcing myself to do it over and over again, and just slowly blocking everything out. I just put myself out there until I got comfortable. So that's kind of where I got that mindset from.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because a lot of times we talk about the more you can live outside your comfort zone, the more you're going to grow, the more you're going to succeed, do what you need to do because that's where all your best version of you is outside your comfort zone. When we were talking earlier, you kind of talked about mindset patterns that kind of keep people stuck. I meant to kind of like really dig into that a little bit. What are some of these mindset patterns that you think keep people stuck right now, even when they actually have the ability to do stuff?
I feel like people let the fear of failure stop them. In my mind, and that's normal, but in my head, as long as I do everything I can and I put everything I can into it, even if I don't get the job after I apply for it, if I did everything I could, that's success to me, you know? I mean, you didn't get it, but maybe that'll give you the confidence to apply another position or just keep pushing forward. You just got to take that step out there and not be afraid of failure and not be afraid to be uncomfortable.
Mindset patterns that keep you stuck are just that they're in your mind, and a lot of times you think a certain way, and really the solution is just to reframe how you're viewing something or how you view, like you just said, success and failure. I had a
Mhm.
mentor of mine a while back. He really wanted more failure than success, and most people are the opposite of that, right? And that's because that's what took him where he needed to be. What do
Right.
you think is the real difference between someone has like a genuine limitation versus one that they've just kind of accepted as a belief? How do you kind of know the difference, whether or not it's something that you really just don't have the ability to do, or you just kind of have these beliefs? Because most people don't recognize those beliefs, right?
I think sometimes you also have to have a realization, like when I was done playing baseball after the surgeries and everything. I used to think of it like, man, I didn't make it, I'm a failure. But instead, I was like, man, look what I've accomplished and was able to get to through everything. I've succeeded to me, you know? Like I said, just because you didn't get to the point you want to go to, that doesn't mean you weren't successful. You put yourself out there, you tried, you did everything you could. But like you were saying, some people have more, like sports, for instance, some people are more athletic than others. Not everyone's going to make it to the NBA, but if your goal is to make it to the NBA, even if you did everything you could, if you believed in yourself, then be proud of it.
I agree with that. So, look, you've experienced a lot of setbacks, a lot of limitations. What are some of the practical things you do, like on a daily ritual basis, or are there things that you do to condition yourself, not just physically, but mentally on an ongoing daily ritual type basis that you feel has helped you to kind of get where you need to be or where you are now mindset wise?
One big thing I've always lived with is instead of finding a reason to quit or to stop, I just always find a reason to keep going. Have that positive mindset. Especially when I coach, I teach the kids baseball is 90% mental. You take yourself out of the game mentally, or if you're pitching and you strike out and you take that strikeout to the mound, you're going to struggle on the mound. We actually had a game on a Saturday, and I think I was playing basketball or something on a Friday, and I broke my foot.
Oh man.
It like splint, and so I was actually supposed to start on the mound on Saturday. I called Dave. Me and Dave had each other's numbers because my leg was always breaking, so he couldn't get me in. It was a Friday afternoon, and so I was in my room when I had Allen wrenches and I had duct tape. I found like a little flat splint, put it on the foot, and I just wrapped duct tape around it. And I would go outside and I would try to test it. I would work on pitching and everything. I was back and forth in and out the house, just like trying to tape it, trying to get it right over and over. And I finally got to a point where I could at least put a little like pressure on it. And I couldn't really run. So I figured as long as I don't have to like cover first or anything, then I'm good. So I got it stable enough, went to the game Saturday, was still able to pitch and
It's interesting because you just view things differently because a lot of times people are focused on problems. I always say, focus on solutions and you're going to find solutions. You focus on the problem, you're going to be focused on the wrong thing. But it seems like you're very much focused on solutions. And we've had a lot of other stories and things that have come up just because of the setbacks. But I got to ask you this. Do you feel like, because you're now, you're coaching as well and you're talking with a lot of individuals, as a speaker, coach, author, what do you feel is the thing that you focus on the most when you're trying to help people to overcome these limiting beliefs? Where do you start with people that you're working with?
the first thing I start with is yourself because again, you can be your own biggest enemy. So if you don't believe in yourself or you don't think you can do anything, then you're not going to be able to do it, you know? That's why I tell my team, I can believe you can win this game. Every other coach can believe you can win this game, but if you guys don't believe it, it doesn't matter. So the first thing I do is believe in yourself and you gotta get that confidence in yourself.
Plus, I know you've probably, just like most successful people, surrounded yourself with the right people as well. How critical is that when it comes to it? You've played a lot of team sports, but how critical is it the people
Yeah.
you surround yourself with?
Very critical because if you're the only positive person in a room full of 10 negative people, that's gonna make you negative.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta set yourself around people that have the same mindset of you, the same people that want the same success, the same people that want the same thing as you.
Yeah. I'm curious if you have kind of a story of when maybe you've had one of these setbacks and it just hasn't gone your way. Like it really didn't turn out the way you thought it would. And it was a real like double setback.
I went through a period, basketball and football season especially, like I said, my leg was breaking. I was in and out of hanger 3 to 4 times a week. There was actually a time where my insurance put me to have two prosthetics, so we ordered the same leg that I had before. So I had two of the same legs. So whenever I broke one on this leg, we would just take one off of that leg, put it on, and then send the other one piece to get
Wow.
repaired. And there was a couple of times where I broke both pieces like within 3 days because like I said, football I'm getting hit, basketball is contact, so it was constantly breaking.
Wow.
And there were a couple weekends, there's a couple Fridays where my leg was broken. I couldn't fix it. Like duct tape, Allen wrenches, I couldn't fix it. And I couldn't go in to see Dave. And so I had plans that weekend with friends. And I was like, well, can't do that because I can't walk. Like I can't put pressure on my leg, whatever. And so there were definitely setbacks. So I'm not going to say and act like everything was perfect. I definitely had some mental moments where I had weakness, but I was able to pull myself out of it and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah, I know so many authors, celebrities, experts that are that same way. I know people look at them from the outside and they think everything's, working and running and great. I mean, you've got next level mindset. That certainly doesn't mean that there are not setbacks, that there are not downtimes, they're not cycles. It's just, it's not about what happens, it's about what you do about it, right? So yeah, that's cool. I guess before we take off here, what motivated you to work on your memoir? Why is it that you are doing this now? What are you hoping to accomplish?
I've had people tell me that I should share my story, but like I said, growing up, I was a hard headed. I was kind of an angry kid, and I just kind of wanted to live a normal life, you know. To me, I wasn't doing this extraordinary thing. I was just living my life, you know. I just wanted to live as normal as life as possible. The older I got, the more mature I got, I realized I was kind of being selfish because I do have a story. And me keeping it to myself when I could help somebody else is being selfish in me. So the more I matured and stopped feeling sorry for myself, and then it worked out. God's willing, I ended up getting hurt at work on the job, and I've been out, and so that made me start writing my memoir and reaching out, and here I am.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you sharing your story. I think you've got a lot to be able to help to inspire people. It's not just about the obstacles, it's the setbacks. A lot of times a setup for a comeback, right? So I think this is the type of message a lot of people really benefit from, which is why I wanted to have you on the show. So thank you so much for being here today, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So listen, guys, if you're listening to this, I want you to do me a favor, share this episode. Let me know what you're working on, what you're struggling with. We want to be able to help you. Also, what you're winning at. We want to celebrate some wins. And don't forget, over on dailymastermind.com, we got the prosperity report starting to come out every week. And so you get a lot of the insights and strategies and links. We appreciate you being here with us today. Once again, you've been spending time with George Wright III and Nathan Winston. We'll talk with you soon. Have a great day.